So what's up everybody, this is going to be my Black Clover 351 and 352 review. I'm sorry y'all, I wasn't able to do the spoilers and I wasn't able to do the review in timely manner is because I was actually in Canada. I was having the time of my life. I tried to record a couple of videos, but every time I tried to record, I was so tired when I came back from like doing all the tours and stuff. But I had a great time in Toronto. Canada's a beautiful place, it's just super cold. Regardless of that, Black Clover 351 and 352, the fact that I was able to read it back to back, it really flowed together. And I really liked how if you take a break from Black Clover and you just read it from one end to the other, like you start to appreciate things a lot more. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have appreciated Black Clover 351 and 352 if I was doing it weekly as if I read it like how I did now, back to back, because you see what Ryu did, what Ryu gave up to obtain his power, and then in 352 you see the power that he actually attained, and it's really epic. I mean, I know some people have been complaining saying that it's like something out of Naruto. Ryu's power is similar to the Sharingan for Naruto, is copyright, but if you look throughout anime history or throughout anime, you see that they have like a common fixation with eyes. You see that in Yu-Gi-Oh! When I believe his name was Pegasus, he got the millennial eye or something like that, and he was able to see a lot of stuff and see through things. So it's a common trope in shonen manga, and it does come from like mythology. I will touch that a little bit more in my review, but regardless of that, let's get into my Black Clover 351 and 352 review. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussion, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, I've been reading you guys' comments. I know I'm a little bit behind. It's because I've been traveling, so I've been doing my best to catch up. So sorry if I haven't gotten to your comment yet, but I will try to catch up. Also, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Someone told me in the comments that apparently my comments are not being shown as much, so I'm guessing that my channel is shadow banned. It is what it is. I'm just going to keep moving forward, keep posting video for y'all. Black Clover 351, what I really liked about it is you see the common theme of what it is to be a leader. So Ryu, he is a genuine natural born leader. We learned that Yosoga, the strongest Ryu 7, was actually Ryu's rival, similar to how Asta and Yuno are rivals. It was like a friendly rival, but they were still trying to achieve the same goal, to be the Shogun. Like I said before, it's really similar to Asta and Yuno. That actually gives me an idea. That'll be interesting if Yuno ends up being like Asta's right hand man, in terms of like Asta uniting all the kingdoms once he's Wizard King. Obviously the Spade Kingdom and the Clover Kingdom are going to be in really good terms because Yuno is going to end up being the king of the actual Spade Kingdom, but it'd be very cool if Yuno and Asta, they form like one kingdom of the whole entire continent. That'd be very interesting. Regardless of that, you do see that leadership, that theme is very important in Black Clover 351. You figure out what are the qualities, what do you have to sacrifice, and the difference between being a leader and basically being a dictator, because a leader is a person that the people choose and they follow, versus a dictator, where is because the person has the power, the people have to follow them. It's not like they could choose to follow them like what happened with Ryu. They have to follow them because they had the power. So throughout the chapter, we see that Yosoga and Ryu were like toe-to-toe trying to compete against each other to become the next Shogun. We found out later in the chapter that Yosoga actually has iron magic. So I wonder if iron magic is basically one of the strongest magics in all of the Land of the Rising Sun. I wonder what type of magic did Ryu have to combat that, and I'm starting to think that he had fire magic or something with magic or the sun. I'm telling you guys, the reason why I say that is because if Ryu had the power of fire and he was able to use fire with his sword, it would counter perfectly with Yosoga's iron magic, because iron, obviously one of the weaknesses is heat. It can turn into a liquid or hurt Yosoga. So I'm guessing that's probably what Ryu's power was before he gave it up. Throughout the chapter, we see the reality of what's going on. You see that Yosoga is actually a person that is very powerful, very strong. It was so much character development for him. We didn't really know about him before this chapter, and then to see him actually like show so much humility at a point when he was so like cocky, he was very proud of who he was and his power, but for him to humble himself down and let Ryu become the leader, the Shogun, shows so much character progression for him, especially for me, because I always thought he was like cocky, why he kept saying himself as the strongest Ryu 7. Now we know why. He was literally the strongest mage or the strongest combatant in all the Land of the Rising Sun. So when Ryu actually gave up his his power to this basically mythical thing. The biggest focus on Black Clover 351 was actually seeing the plague hit the island where Ryu's family was the ruling class, and the other island where Yasuoga's family is the ruling class. Those two islands got hit by this devastating plague. A true leader will want the best out of the citizens of their territory that they rule. However, they both wanted it, but one was not willing to sacrifice everything to make sure that their people were good. Their people will live and be well off, and that was Yasuoga. Yasuoga was too afraid to actually give up his power because, one, he said that I would rather see the weakest of the weakest die than give up his power, so his fear was him being weak. Ryu gave up his power, gave up his magic without a second thought. He wanted to help the people out, and then that's what made the people want him to be the actual shogun. The people of the land of the rising sun were on his side versus Yasuoga, who is the strongest, will only have the strength, and people will admire him, but they wouldn't actually be devoted to him like they would with Ryu. When Yasuoga realized that he was too weak, or he was too fearful to give up his power, to the time where the conversation where the next shogun was actually going to be in place, be chosen, Yasuoga choosing Ryu over himself showed a lot of character development and showed a lot of progression, and I had more respect for Yasuoga as a character right then and there, because you realize that a true leader is fearless and will do everything for his or her people that they are leading. So that's what a true leader is. A true leader is not a dictator because of strength, they are in control. No, a true leader is somebody that the people choose and devote themselves for. And that's what I really liked about this chapter. It really focused on that. It focused what it means to be a shogun, as Yasuoga showed his magical power of iron and hit Heath. It looked like Heath is out for the count or he's just gone. And then the last comment when he said Asta wants to achieve the same thing that Ryu wants, or that what he wants at one point, would try to make a man out of Asta. That itself showed me that Asta will learn a lot from these two. These two right here, Ryu and Yasuoga, are going to teach everything Asta needs to know to be a real leader. The person that Asta basically was looking up to as a leader was the Time Wizard that ended up being Lucius. It was Julius. Julius was the Wizard King. Asta looked up to him as a leader. Now that he figured out that Julius is actually Lucius, Asta doesn't really know who to look up to right now at this moment. Obviously, he looks up to Yami, but his main goal ended up being somebody that betrayed not only him, but also the kingdom. So I really like that about that chapter, how they focus that, what it is to be a leader, and then tie it back to Asta trying to be the Wizard King. By the end of this arc, Asta will learn everything what it is to be a leader by Ryu and Yasuoga. Once Asta learns Yasuoga and Ryu's past, I'm pretty sure Asta will start looking up to Ryu as he did with the Wizard King. Now on to Black Clover 352. I really enjoyed this chapter, and this chapter was short, so it was like 13 pages. I know a lot of people have been saying that, oh, Black Clover copied Naruto with the Sharingan and all that stuff. Yes, there is some similarities to it, but if you really look at it, you see that there's differences. You realize that a lot of shonen mangas have a lot of trope where they have this all-seeing eye, this mythical eye. You saw that in Yu-Gi-Oh! I said that before with the Manilial Eye. Pegasus, I believe his name was. He had that eye that was able to see through a lot of stuff. And then you have Ryu, who has literally on the same eye, and now that I think about it, this all-seeing eye that he gave up his magical powers for. Similar design as to a Sharingan. But keep in mind, this has to do with a lot of Japanese mythology. I started checking some things in Japanese mythology. There is like this ghost or this legend in mythology where there's like multiple eyes and has to do with ghosts in your home and haunted homes. It's something similar with that. Even with all the hate that this chapter is getting with them supposedly quote unquote ripping off Naruto, you gotta keep in mind there's different contexts. Every manga has something similar. However, you know, we have to look into what Tabata will do with this, and I'm pretty sure Tabata is gonna flip it and make it his own like he always does. I really enjoyed how we saw everybody knowing that Ryu's the leader. Obviously they know that he has this all-seeing eye, he can see things through, but for everybody to just follow his command, it kind of leans back to that thing that I was saying in Black Clover 351, was that Ryu is a true leader. He has the following, he has the all-seeing knowledge, so everybody's gonna follow him. This chapter was basically just the Ryu 7 and Asta working together to finish off that five-headed dragon, and that's what they did. However, I did see some limitations to Ryu's eye. Technically, he could see through things, he could see through a lot, he could see everything, but it looks like he can't really see 100% everything. I think there's going to be some little small details that he can't see, because we saw him with the lightning Jujutsu Ryusen. Ryu didn't realize how hurt off he was, how damaged he was, so Ichiga took the step and did a blow that lightning Ryu 7 should have done, the one with the Oni mask. So it looks like Ryu's eye can only see certain aspects, maybe not the biggest details, but there's certain details that he cannot cannot see. From what it looks like there is limitations from what I got in this chapter. And then also seeing the Ryu 7 with the Japanese banjo type of thing. His name is Fuji. His actual magic is sound, which is interesting because I was expecting something different, but sound makes sense why he has that musical instrument. His magical powers is able to heal people, and also it gives them more energy. So I really like that. And just seeing all the Ryu 7 do their part. Yosoga hitting a dragon, knocking it forth, so that basically get all the heads to align to have Asta do that finishing blow with the anti-magical attack and cutting all their heads off. And that's basically the whole entire chapter. The chapter was very action-packed. It wasn't much dialogue in Black Clover 352, but seeing them all work together with Asta, I really enjoyed it. But the fact that Heath is not in this chapter and Yosoga is already fighting the dragon kind of shows that Heath is already out. But if Heath is out and he wasn't defeated by anti-magic, wouldn't Heath come back? Because he can probably heal himself. We'll see. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. That's basically all I have to say. Let me know what you think about these two chapters, Black Clover 351, 352. Did you like the theme of leadership in Black Clover 351 and it carrying on a little bit in Black Clover 352? How do you feel about Fuji's power? Do you think that Black Clover copied Naruto with the eye power? Alright, like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.